Hi and welcome. I am Freya and today we're going to do an evening yoga flow. It's just going to be a short flow that you can do in the evenings after work or before bed, just to give your body a little bit of a stretch and just a little bit of attention really before heading to bed or having a nice evening at home. So we're just going to get right into it. So we're going to start in child's pose. So you're going to have your knees as wide as the mat, toes touching. You can have your knees further in, just whatever is more comfortable for you. And then you're just going to lean forward, forehead on the mat and arms out in front of you. So we're starting in child's pose just to connect with our breath for a second. So whilst you're here and whilst you're breathing, try to notice where in your back you might want to just give a little bit more love and attention whilst you're breathing. So for a lot of people it will be really nice to breathe into your lower back, just to relieve some of any tension that might be there. Could also be more of the middle or your upper back. So what you're going to do is you're going to inhale, and as you exhale, you're just going to imagine letting go of all the tension in that area. Sinking down a little bit deeper in your child's pose. We're going to take 2 more breaths here. On your next inhale, we're going to press our hands into the mat. And then we're going to tuck our toes and then come up into a downward facing dog. Might be your first downward facing dog of the day. Maybe it's not, but either way, we're just going to take a little bit of time just to land in the pose. So you can pedal out your knees and your legs and just lift one heel at a time, but really you're welcome just to do whatever feels good for you right now. Maybe you want to step one foot behind the other, give your lower back a little bit of a stretch, or just anything that is comfortable for you right now. You just go with the flow, yeah? Just try to move with your breath and have your hands nice and firm into the mat, pressing the ground away. Nice. So we're going to come and find stillness. You can put your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart, keeping a bend in your knees so that you don't round your back like this. We want to bend the knees and straighten out the back as well as we can. And then from here, you're going to take your left hand, and you're going to reach over and see if you can grab, maybe you can grab your thigh on your right side, maybe you can grab your calf, or maybe you can grab your ankle. And then we're just going to stay here, look through underneath your arm to the right side. Nice, come back to center. And we're going to do the same on the opposite side. So you're just going to grab whatever you can, your thigh, your knee, your calf, your ankle, looking underneath that arm, breathing, pushing the floor away with your left arm. and back to center. Very nice. From here we're going to just walk slowly up in between our hands, keeping that bend in our legs, and then we're going to fold. Keeping your legs bent, we're looking to have our belly touching our thighs. You can grab a hold of opposite elbows here and just have a little bit of a hang. This can be really nice for the spine after a long day. And then we're going to come up all the way, arms up over our head as we inhale, and exhale, arms down by our sides. Very nice. So we're going to come into a little bit of a shoulder stretch. So first thing you can do is you're going to take your hands and then you're just going to grab onto opposites elbows here to see how that feels. What kind of stretch do you feel in your shoulders or in your chest here? Try to have your chest forward and shoulders rolling back. If this is nice, you can stay. If you wanted it to be a little bit more intense, you're welcome to roll your shoulders back and grab hold of opposite hands behind you and then straighten out your arms. So it will be looking like this. There's also an option to do this. If you open up your hands, it's okay, it's just less intense. This is the more intense version. Just going to take a couple of breaths here. Try not to arch your back like this. Try to keep your hips neutral, chest forward, head in. And now we're going to bend our knees, feet are hip width apart. Bend our knees and then come and fold forward. So we're folding forward here, keeping a bend in our knees. We're looking for the stretch in our arms rather than the stretch in our hamstrings. So we don't want to have to focus on both at the same time. So bend your knees as much as you need to so that you feel comfortable in the pose. And then breathe here. This is really good if you sit at a computer all day, or sit on your phone a lot throughout the day. Just stretching out those shoulders. Last breath here. Then on your inhale, we're going to come slowly up. And as we get to the top, you're going to gently let go of your arms. Give them a little bit of a shake. Good job. And then however is comfortable for you, we're going to come down to a seated position. So we're going to come into a toe tuck here. So we're going to sit back onto our toes like this. You can always grab hold of your little toe and just make sure that it is also bent. Sometimes mine is just that kind of getting squished at the top. And then this can be quite intense, and if it is, you are welcome to just lean forward and just have a lot of your weight on your hands instead of on your feet. Just find wherever is more comfortable for you. We use our toes a lot, and we sit on them all day, so they need a good stretching after such a long day, and it's not something we do very often, so here we are. You can rest your hands on your thighs. And then I want you to just take a couple of breaths here. We won't stay for too long. I know it's intense. Very nice. So now you can come forward to come out of the pose. We come forward and lean our most of our weight in our hands. We untuck the toes, bend them the opposite way, just give them a little bit of a tap here, can be really nice. And then you can sit back onto your feet just to stretch out the opposite side here, stretching out this part of the foot. So if you can feel a stretch here, same rules apply. You're welcome to lean forward, take a little bit of that load off. If this is very comfortable for you, you're welcome to lean back a little bit and then lift up your knees as much as you can, just so that we stretch that front of our feet. I find this to be super intense, so this is as far back as I'll go. We're just going to stay here for a couple of breaths. Just try and breathe into that discomfort. And on your next exhale, you can put your legs back down and come onto a seat. So that concludes our practice today. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you have a lovely evening, and I hope to see you in the next one.